Welcome back, guys. Saturday morning, nice and fresh. Perfect time of the year for working on cars. Weather is absolutely perfect. Best time to be outdoors, I reckon. Righto, this video is not going to be focused on the XB, the new one I got, the sedan. It's going to be back to the coupe. This car is really close to being ready for the road. Close, but not quite there yet. The last issue I had with this car was exhaust leaks. So I was going to order new gaskets, because the problem I'm having is got the Aces EFI throttle body, and if there's any sort of exhaust leaks, it can't measure the exhaust O2 properly. You see here it's got this. So if you got any leaks, so I've got a leak here, even though I've tried resolving it. Got a leak there. I don't know if there's any more. Look into it more, but I have to get on with that, because yeah, it's getting pretty frustrating to start the car up and a miss and fart and pop and bang and hear dogs blowing up in the neighbourhood. So I have to get serious and resolve this. So got exhaust, got to fix the exhaust leaks. So I've bought these new gaskets, but I'm going to go to Repco and get some exhaust or some sealant just to go on top of that as well, because I've used, these are reasonably new, the ones I put on there, and they still leak, so there's something going on. I can double them up if I really want to, but shouldn't have to. Yeah, so I got that, and I've also got this linkage set up for the throttle body. I've got two throttle cables. I don't know how good they are. They're probably getting a bit old, but they'll do for now. I can always keep a spare in the car because they do break. I really need to buy a new one, but I'll get there eventually. Told you in one of my old videos that I'm going to all Ford Day in Sydney, so the Escort's going. I'm going with the small Ford Club of Sydney. It's freaking awesome. Had to jump through a few hurdles to get. Usually I go, one of my mates, his wife's got a Ford Focus RS XR5 Club, Hunter Valley. Last time I tagged along with them. But this time, yeah, I'll go with the small Ford Club of Sydney. So it'll be like Cortinas, Capris, Escorts, all sort of cars, sort of in the same English Fords, pretty much. You got Sierra RS Cosworths and all that sort of stuff. Should be big, and they park in a really good spot at the meet. So it's going to be freaking brilliant. Can't wait. So unfortunately, I have to trail the car down. Car down there. I can't just drive it. It's a freaking long way, especially with a 3-speed auto. Diff ratio, what it is. So yeah, gonna have to start giving the car some love. Get it looking really nice and pretty. The paint's getting old. It's got chips and scratches and stuff, but I'll do what I can to make it look nice. But ever since that highway patrol dilemma, he pulled me over and wanted to red label my car. I haven't driven on the roads. There's nothing stopped me from doing it. The car's legal. It's just I'm paranoid about getting pulled up and not being able to go to a Ford Day. Can't drive it there. So I just want to keep things simple at the moment. I don't want drama with this car. I want to continue with the coupe, the Falcon coupe. So righto. So I'm gonna have to make some room. Get this G6E turbo out of here. This thing here, I was gonna put it here, that was the plan, but this back tyre keeps going flat. It starts and runs, look, it's absolutely brilliant. I'm starting to think sometimes, like, why don't I just go carburetor on that car? I would have kept things simple, but at the time I thought, no, I want this car to be super efficient, economical. So I went EFI, but yeah, it worked out only slightly dearer to go EFI, so I got these things here. I was talking about last video. Put them under the tyres. That way I can move the car into the corner here. So it's worked out pretty good. I thought it was going to be pretty tight having all these cars in here. It is, but it's going to make the shed more organised. So I've got home brew going. Beer stocks are starting to get a bit how you going, because I didn't have the, you got to keep the beer gassed up, and it was sitting around 10 psi, which I thought was fine. But then, yeah, it just started, the beers come out real flat. I'm a bit of a panic. I thought, no, I don't want to have to start buying again, because this is dramatically cheaper than buying commercial beer. So I think it's come along all right. We'll have to check it later. It's that time. Just fitted up this linkage setup. Goes straight onto the 4150 pattern for the throttle body. What I think might be an issue for me is it's got 2 return springs. I think it's going to be way too stiff. I'll take one off. I don't think I'll need it. And it's got 2 different types. That fixture there. So the other type will come with a kit. That hole is a bit too big. Probably put a washer in there, I guess, but I think what I might do is just slide that through. Slide through that hole, back this, put both these nuts right back, slide in there, pinch up. They got like a alky finger pinch up that'll clamp onto the thread. That's why I didn't race out and buy a throttle cable, so I'm going to make sure if I'm going to go out and spend 90 bucks on a new cable and then find out that it's not going to work with this linkage setup, I'll be in trouble. So I reckon it'll work. But where I've run into a problem, this is the old, let's look at it, says it's a Carter. So this is the dual throat carburetor that come off the 302 Cleveland that this car come with. So yeah, the motor in this car was absolutely bog stock, virgin bore, original matching engine number. Yeah, so this is the carb here come off it, and I was hoping I could remove this ball here, but it's fixed to the linkage. So had a quick look on Google, and Autobarn have that. They have the one that I can put onto this throttle body. So yeah, I should be able to have a throttle. Should be able to have a throttle today. It's a big deal, because when you're in the car trying to start it, and I can't use the throttle, yeah, it makes that much harder to try to start it sometimes, because at this point in time, yeah, it's in a need of a good tune. So hopefully it'll tune itself, but I have a tuner who I go to, who used to tune the Escort many years ago, but he does most V8s and stuff, and he's really good. Yeah, so I could probably take the car to him and put on the dyno, and he can tinker with it. But it should, they reckon that they do tune themselves, but yeah, we'll see how we go with that. But yeah, might just cruise in Autobarn now, pick up this little linkage part, and progress. Just picked up this some Autobarn. Lucky to even find one without going online. So yeah, that ball, as soon as I've seen it, I'm like, that looks a bit bigger than the a little bit bigger than the one that's from factory. So I'll have to modify that, make it a bit smaller. If that doesn't work at the time, I can just buy another one. If I gotta do it right, it'll bind up if I don't make it smaller. Another thing I forgot to tell you is the guy I bought this car off. He contacted me and said that he's got some parts if I want them. So I got this rear stone guard. Obviously it was originally for a 6-cylinder. It's not the original for the car. It's not a remanufactured one either. It's original condition, like a few dents and that in it, but I can fix that up. Fairmont hubcaps, brilliant. Only 3 of them, but so find another one day, and I've got these mirrors. So yeah, they're damaged in there, but I'll fix them. I can easily use part of this if need be. Probably just use a bit of Devcon or find a way of doing it, no problem. So yeah, I've got mirrors now. And this car never had a passenger side mirror either. And he gave me, well, didn't actually gave me $300 for all this. So got the trim that I was missing off the door here. So I've actually got 3 of them. I didn't only needed the one. So yeah, brilliant. Oh, wish I had a lathe. Slowly doing it 2 hands. Can't do it properly with 1 hand, but I'm holding it with 2 hands, and I'm making the ball smaller. It's worked out pretty good. So here's the factory one. And over here. Looking at it through the camera. What have we got? Yeah, excellent. Slightly smaller. Shouldn't be an issue. So try at the cable end. It's my shadow, the dog. Gloves hanging out. There you go. That'll work. Yes. Good. Righto. It's worked out really good. Testing the car, it feels great. The only issue is obviously I'm going to have to get I'll replace it with a brand new cable. This is just a bit of a trial run, really. Just yeah, I don't know. I'll have to look into it more. But the only problem I have is where the factory cable goes through the firewall. It conflicts with the rocket cover, the aftermarket rocket covers. So these just sit way too high, and the cable can't clear it. It sort of has to go on a bit of an angle, and that's where you have issues with throttle cables. Once you start putting funky bends in them, it puts they run heaps tighter, and then you start having problems. So I could sort of, it can't go over top. It sort of has to go like that. It's pretty gnarly, but cable's like way too long. Way too long. Sometimes that works in your favour because then you get less sharp bends in them. Yeah, I know the factory one would easily clear that. A little trial fit, see how it looks. There's nothing wrong with the cable setup on this. The issue is when this was on the factory 302, it pulls into the front, where on this pulls from the back. So the cable, yeah, makes complete sense. I looked at the photo, I'm like, aha, that's why. So yeah, buddy, it is what it is. You're probably able to change your linkages around. Oh yeah, get it to pull from that point there. But then, if I do that, yeah, then that cable, yeah, then this is going to have to be redone different spot. It'll probably run fine, just on, I know at Summernats, probably every time you go there, someone has a problem where their throttle gets stuck open and they run into another car. Yeah, I could probably turn it around, but at the end of the day, it's still going to have the... I was going to try and put this cover on there. Trouble is absolutely filthy. Absolutely filthy. Needs a good clean, and that probably conflict. I don't know. I'm guessing it probably won't because it's factory. But I have, in the past, I put them on and just to see how it cleared, and actually cleared the bosses. So, whatever they're called. Yeah, alright. I'll try to put this aftermarket rocker cover on and see how it looks. So I've just test fitted the factory rocker cover. Gave it a good clean up. And yeah, obviously they don't look near as good as the aftermarket ones, but on the flip side, the throttle cable clears it like it should, being factory. And this 302 high performance positive crankcase is in a perfect spot to go straight to it. So yeah, but these rock covers, they definitely do look the part. That's another thing. I'm trying to have this car sort of looking sort of like it was from factory, so burnt orange. 302 orange rocker covers. I've got bought this special paint to paint the rock covers, but never end up using them. Even though this is a 351. Yeah, so I'll try getting these V8 badges that go on the guards. So when they got a 302, they got the V8 badge there. When they're a 351, it says 351. It's like on the Falcon 6. It's got the 250 cubic inch on the guard. But I've got a little bit different with this car. This is meant to be just orange, no decal there, just Falcon 500. But I like the look of the blacked out rear panel. And I love the look of the 302. So that's, the seller was making these to suit a John Goss, but I've got them made in silver. But I'd also do like the John Goss look where they got the 302 on the guard there. I've got Falcon 500 badges ready to go on there, but I really do love the 302. But obviously, yeah, it's meant to have the V8 badge there. I could have the 351, but then I'd have to change the rear panel to 351. But problem I had is Grand Tourer I bought some the V8 badges off them, and they're on hold, a back order for ages, and it's probably dragged on 7 months. I keep contacting them and they said, oh, they're coming, and then I spoke to another seller and they said, haven't you heard, Grand Tourer is shutting down? And I'm like, oh shit. So I emailed them and they said they're not shutting down. They're actually changed the new ownership, so did a bit of clear up and sorting out all the old orders, and they gave me a refund. So now I'm stuck with not having badges on the guards. I know my brother's got some old ones. I could probably get them off him and fix them up, but yeah, I just don't know what to do at this point in time. It's about this the little things. But this air filter, it's already got the 302 high performance, and it's got the positive crankcase. Hook up straight from the air filter, straight to the rocker cover. It's like it's meant to be. Yeah. But yeah, the rocker cover does go on good, but obviously it needs a lot of work. It needs to be not only stripped of its paint, but it's got a lot of surface rust. So it has to be really needs to be sandblasted. But I might just put these aftermarket ones back on and just leave it up for that. But yeah, now I've got a throttle accelerator pedal that works. Just undone this exhaust flange, you can see just how much it's been leaking all around here, all that black. Not so much this side, it's more like this side, so yeah, not good. They look as bad as each other, either side. So I'm even thinking, I actually bought 4 of these. I was thinking about doubling them up, because they do crush to a certain extent, but if they're bent, more inclined to be the original extractors than these new ends. Yeah, I've got silicon there too, like exhaust silicon, high temp stuff. But yeah, not good at all. Got to resolve this. So trying to get this damn motor running. It starts, goes for probably 3-4 seconds and cuts out. Motor's getting flooded with fuel. This Aces EFI is a fair income head fuck. I'm getting a bit over it actually. Like, I shouldn't be having this many problems. So what I'm going to do, I got the ChatGPT. It's like AI, and got on the Facebook group for this Aces EFI, and someone said they use the AI to tune it, well, to go through your problems. So your blinkers go. Yeah, it's proper pain in the ass. Like, fair income, it shouldn't be this hard. I mean, once you punch in the credentials, you punch in all the stuff it needs to know, you should be able to start it and run it. Like, what's the issue? Frustrating. We had it running good. Okay, it wasn't like 100%, but we got the motor warmed up and it was sitting there running and muck around the idle on that. It was great, but then now trying to do a cold start, it just, motor's getting flooded with fuel. Can't keep it running. So I think I'll see how, I'll have to get on my phone now and do a bit of research, but yeah. I'm trying my best. I try my best to be positive. It's really hard sometimes because I wasted so much time with this EFI. I know it's a good thing once they're going right, but this initial stuff is just doing my head in. I mean, there was an issue where it had exhaust leaks. So once you've got exhaust leaks, you can't tune yourself properly because this exhaust isn't going to get measured properly. So there's that part of it. I'm trying to resolve it. I put the gaskets on that nice and tight and the exhaust. And then another one you really got to have good is your manifold air pressure. It's like vacuum. So if you get a vacuum leak, the computer's got no way of telling how much fuel or what the engine's doing. It's retarded. It's just like, oh, I don't know what to do. So I can't see any vacuum leaks. You usually hear a bit of hissing sound and that, but yeah, I'll see how I'll go with this AI. So when you ask AI, the question is, so I've got a 100 amp alternator, aftermarket one for that engine. So that's freaking powerful. So you got to look at a 100 amp alternator might support a Falcon FG twin firmer fan setup, but it's right on the edge. Wherever it's sufficient depends on what else you have running in the car. So that's the thing you got to consider. So there's a twin firmo fan draw. So low speed, 15 to 20 amps. High speed, 30 to 40 amps. Startup serve, potentially 60 amps. So if they're starting and stopping all the time, that's killer. That's why I know the BEF Falcon had this special mechanism where it's the fans slowly come on, governed by what temperature the engine is. So you got to look at it. Twin firmos, there's a 30-40 amp draw, ECU sensors, 5 to 10 amps, fuel pump, headlights. All this adds up. So total estimated was 1680 amps. So I'm already running one single pump, not twins. I can actually ask AI. I can tell them everything I've got in this car, and it'll work out the maths for me. So on paper, 100 amp alternator should do the job. But yeah, just got to see. It says here older alternators don't always deliver. So the older alternators, they simply won't cut it. So yeah, recommended 100 amp. I know there's if I actually put my time into it, the exactly same alternating, get them in 120, 140 amp. So if I go down the road of, I'll get off this AI and I'll talk on camera better. See here, it's got Wizard injector flow rate. So cheers for the update. The injector flow rate value is almost certainly a root cause of overfueling. What you're seeing, the injector flow rate is currently set at that figure there. That's massively high unless you're running fire hoses for injectors. So yeah, they use a bit of sense of humor when it comes to this AI. How this causes overfueling. You used to use the value to calculate how long to open the injectors. If it thinks the injectors are tiny, it opens them much longer. So you actually got 1000cc minimum injectors. Yeah, it is quite high, isn't it? Right, I'll pause this, guys. I'll keep reading. What I've done, right? I told it I'm running 98 octane fuel. Perfect. 98 octane pump petrol. Correct injector flow rate. Yep. So then I've changed the injector setting. So it's 12,599. I changed that to 12.6. Better accuracy. And then what I've done, I actually took a video, had the engine running for probably 5 seconds, and I had to actually turn it off. It wouldn't keep running. So it's helping already. So got your video, I reviewed it. Here's what I've noticed. Engine fires quickly but stalls in 1 to 2 seconds. It sounds heavily overfueled, deep muffled tone. Unbelievable. Classic sign of rich stall. You can hear the ECU trying to hold idle, but it's being drowned in fuel before it stabilizes. There's no throttle blipping, so I assume this is in neutral start, no extra air. Yeah, that's right, I wasn't even hitting the throttle. What this confirms, this lines up perfectly with what's suspected. Injector pulse whips are far too high at idle, caused by too low injector flow rate. I told it I changed it. Map sensor still reading 102 kPa, so there is a major issue. Remember I told you before, you've got to have the exhaust, 0 leaks, as I've mentioned before, and manifold air pressure, so it's like vacuum. So it's like a sensor. It translates vacuum to this sensor, and the sensor tells the ECU what the value should be. So the map sensor still reading 102 kPa, so it should read that when the motor's not running, but once you start it, it should drop. So under load, wide open, 0 vacuum. So this means that you're still not getting a proper manifold vacuum signal to the map. Righto. So the map sensor's somewhere on that throttle body. I have to check that. I'm surprised it can even start and run, to be honest. Right, there's all this stuff I've got to check, but yeah, we'll start with that manifold air pressure. back into it again following day. I had another go at trying to sort out using AI. The battery was starting to get low, so I just put the battery on charge and walked away. Actually walked over to the sedan and started it up, and I thought, wow, isn't this great? Carburetor life. Righto, so today's mission, I'm just gonna tick through all the things that could possibly give me grief. So do a bit of research, and I'm gonna make sure there's like a list of things that AI tell me I should do. If your pressure regulator, make sure it's at 43.5 psi, around that figure. I say between like 43 and 47 or something, but I make sure it's around that mark. And I reckon I'll fold the spark plugs up again. So I'll take the spark plugs out. While I'm at it, while I'm cleaning the spark plugs up, I'll just do a quick compression test. I'm not going to get really good compression because it's got a pretty wild cam in this thing, and you get a bit of overlap going on. So long as the main goal is to make sure that the compression's like identical across all cylinders. Once I've achieved that, put the plugs back in, and then I'll fire up the laptop. I've now got Aces EFI software on my laptop, so I'll set it up here in the car, and we'll plug it in, and then we'll start checking through all the things that need to be done with the feet. One of the main problems with this engine that I'm having with this Aces EFI, because the motor, although it's, you know, basically a standard 351 bottom end and running a pretty big cam, which is nothing unusual for these engines, this EFI has no idea what the hell's going on. You got 3 different settings. You got standard, mild, and race in regards to, you know, camshaft specs, all that sort of crap. So it's bit of a sort of bland sort of setting that you punch in. And when we went to the race setup, the motor seemed to go better when it was hot. Yeah, it's just weird. So basically all you can do is to follow instructions to AI. Well, if it wasn't AI, I'd be going to a shop, and then they know all this stuff. They do this all the time. I don't. So it's just a matter of going through the settings, ejector pulse, and all this sort of stuff. And yeah, setting it up so it actually starts and runs cold, because once it gets hot, it seems to run. It's a little bit rich still, but it's learning. It's in closed loop. So it's constantly feeding back information from the exhaust, and it just learns. But it's pretty hard to do that when the car's sitting here and not going anywhere. It needs to be driven or on dyno where it can really measure stuff properly. But I think another thing that's holding it back too, because it's got a big cam, heaps of overlap, it's not getting a very strong map sense reading. Like it's around 80 kPa or something. So it's around 101 or something. It's not going at all. It has very weak vacuum, so it's purely relying on the settings that you're punching into it for it to be able to start and run. So it's never been much fun starting this thing cold. It's generally just start it and it'll run for a bit and it just stalls, and yeah, it's all sorts of issues. But we'll have a good crack at it and just keep progressing with it. But yeah, if it gets too frustrating, just gotta walk away. I mean, realistically, if any of you guys had this sort of thing going on, you take it to a shop. Just take it to a shop and let them work it out. But for me, Bart, I'm fucking head stubborn. I'll keep soldiering on because I'll get a buzz out of it. Once I've resolved something, it's successful, I get a buzz out of it, and then yeah, you guys can watch it and see what you think. Obviously, there's people out there watching this going to go, what the fuck, why did you just take it to someone? Oh, why isn't this? Why don't you do that? I'm learning, like anyone, but I'm filming. I've got a camera. So I'm brave enough to hold a camera to my face while I'm doing this. Because, yeah, you get a lot of opinions and skeptics and stuff who, yeah, mightn't agree too much with what I'm doing, but yeah, I'm having to go. That's the main thing. Basically, when it comes to the Escort, I set up a Hardtop Elite ECU. All I've done with that, wired in all the sensors, calibrated all the sensors, done everything, and then just take the car to a tuner. Bam, bam, he thanks me for setting everything up, so all he has to do is tune the car. That's it, tunes it in one session. So, but this car, a little bit different, but we'll work for it. I'll see how it goes. If it gets too much for me and too much a head fuck, I'll just take it to a tuner. Like the tuner will happily look over it. But he's already told me straight up, these Aces EFI, it's hit and miss. People, there's not much good feedback out in the in Australia anyway. People are negative towards them. People say to go to the Holly instead. But oh well, we'll see how we go. It's got the plugs out, going to clean up. They're not too bad actually. Righto. So I've done a compression test. Lowest was 160, highest was 175. That could have come down to the compression test and not sealing as good, because there's some of them hard to get to, but it's within the range of what it should be, but I'm not too fussed about it. If there's like 30 PSI or more difference, then I'd be concerned, but yeah, knew it's going to be pretty good anyway, you know, it's new motor. But that's more or less making sure that all the valves are sealing, all that sort of stuff, because yeah, that could cause issues. So I'll put the plugs back in now, and I'll check the fuel pressure, make sure that's good. Done a fuel pressure test, it's within spec. Just remove the throttle body and give it a prime, and it's a quick squirt of fuel. So it's doing its thing where it's getting the motor ready to start. But what I will do, I'll just get onto the get my laptop going, and I'll get onto the ACES software, and we'll see if we can turn that feature off, just to make sure it can be turned off, because I want to make sure those injectors aren't leaking, which they don't appear to be, because it's like a controlled squirt of fuel. Time to get myself comfortable. This is where it gets technical. So I'm no expert in this area, that's for sure. So yeah, I've got the cable connect up ECU, ignition's on. ECU connected successfully. So now I'm going to follow ChatGPT's instructions and see if we can turn off the fuel pressure pulse. So it's telling me to change the fuel prime percent to 0, but when I try to do that, change that to value to 0, right to ECU, change it back to 50. So now I have to go into another setting and see if we can counteract and change it. So this is the cranking pulse. So you got 150, 350, 1200, all up the different RPMs. Then you got temperature there from -30 right up to 90 degrees. So what I'm doing, it's telling me they're way too rich, so I'm changing all these figures. So there's less fuel getting squirted in there on startup, because the motor's literally getting flooded with fuel. It's not cool, so yeah, I'll change all them now. All the boys love a good beer. This is my latest batch. Freaking awesome. You fluffy head on it. So I've been at this all day. It got to the point where the engine wouldn't even fire. Would not even fire. Every now and then a bit of a blip, like it's wanting to start. No matter what I've done with the ACES, it just would not get better. Doing my head in. So what I end up doing, I thought these spark plugs keep getting fouled. No matter what I do, they keep getting fouled. And then I thought, you know what, they're probably just knackered. I've never known anything like it. It's unclean. I clean them up, they look really good. But I tell you what, as soon as I put new plugs in, boom, up she went, just like that. So what I'm doing now, I'm scaling back with the fuel. It's just still too rich. So just follow ChatGPT's instructions, and I'll just keep laying it out, but it should start good now, I reckon. Oh, it's cold. That needs. Got a vacuum leak now. God knows where. hot idle, but yeah, it's got a vacuum leak anyway. Turn it off. Yeah, shit house vacuum leak. That's developed from me pulling the throttle body off and putting it back on. So yeah, I gotta resolve that. And there's popping sounds that I assumed, well, I thought, well, it was. We did know where the extractors join up to the exhaust. You can see where I showed you the gasket, how black it is. Well, I've doubled up in the gaskets and I've checked it doesn't leak there anymore. The popping sounds actually come from the extractors where it had a massive dent in it. I've cut a hole in it to remove the dent because I couldn't pull it out. And I put a patch in it, but yeah, it's got a slight leak come from the patch, so I've got to resolve that. It's going to be fun. You can get to it with the welder on the hoist, but I'll have to have the engine running just so I could see where they are and identify. Probably end up cleaning it up and just putting some weld into it and dressing the back and see if it fixes it. But yeah, so spark plugs. I'm not used to this spark plug shit with the Escort. It just runs LS1 coils and the sparks like a monster. You don't really have spark plug issues. So yeah, new to me, but according to AI, I'm meant to be running a colder plug. It'll help resolve these plugs folding up, because while I'm at this stage where I'm tuning all the time, it'll just gradually just fold the plugs up. But yeah, you can see now, look at the exhaust end, it's not blowing any smoke, so if anything, it's leaned right out now. It's better. Just got to resolve that exhaust leak and a vacuum leak, but got another 3 days to resolve that, so I'll crack on. Bright and early weekday morning. I've had the coupe running a bit. My brother came over on the beers yesterday. I'm tinkering around with it, but it's got to the point where the car needs to be driven on the road. Enough of this idling and stuff around the shed. It's yeah, needs a bit of love, needs a bit of tuning. But what I did find yesterday is under the car here, looking for exhaust leaks. So originally it was a leak where these extractors join up, but looking into it further, turns out there's a massive leak in this collector here inside it. So it's like bugger. So that it's too early now to go starting to run this motor or doing anything I need to do. So I'm gonna have to take these extractors off. I can set this light up. I'll have to take them off, and you can't, obviously you can't get inside this collector in from this end, so what I have to do, I'm gonna have to cut it around here, I reckon, nice and close, so that opens it up all in there. I might even cut back as far as I can cut back in here, expose it all in there, weld it from the inside, then weld this back on. Yeah, it's gonna suck. It's got to be done. Either that or buy new extractors, and these are at the moment, as everyone's aware, this cost of living is freaking hurting everyone. Everything's just so expensive. Like I can handle it now. It's only me and my son here. I got a nice new home and that, but just that's the energy costs. Like I had last bill was like $360 for my electricity, which is bugger all. It's hardly anything. But I've got solar. I've got a bloody solar system on my roof of my house. It's pretty damn good. Like I was getting almost zero bills there for a bit, and it's just slowly going up. And I took the time to look at the bill, and it's like 24 cents a kilowatt off peak, and peak time it's like 30 cents a kilowatt. And I'm like, yeah, right. And then the power that's going back into the grid, I'm only getting like 5 cents back, which is pretty reasonable, I reckon. But 5 cents a kilowatt, but just giving the money back to them. And my bill, $360, nothing to be worried about, you know, whatever. Just a bill. That's actually bugger all compared to most people. But then the next bill's like jumped up, a projected bill of $861. And I'm like, and it's going up every day. I'm like, what? Then I look at my usage, and its usage is down. Like, my son hasn't been home much, like all weekend. He's been away working. The house is empty, solar going, and yet everything's just going up. I'm like, no. So, gonna make some phone calls today and look at getting a battery. They've got this rebate. The government got this rebate thing going on, but it's bullshit. This country's just getting driven into the ground from these stupid politics and this net zero crap. I'm over it. It's freaking pissing me off. But yeah, I'm one of the lucky ones. But yeah, I'm seeing all these people suffering and people around me and that. So that's enough of my rant. Right, another thing too, the Escort. I'd take advantage of ChatGPT with this thing. So recently I tinkered around with made this cover, took the cluster out because I got a new Haltech IC7 cluster. It go like a dash, it goes in there, and I've got a new like a 3D printed surround for it. It's freaking brilliant. But I took the cluster out, and I must have done something to the wiring because drive-by wire, so it's electronic control throttle pedal. So it's got a BA Falcon accelerator pedal along with a Bosch throttle body. So it controls it, but what it's doing, it's sensing something's not right, and it's locking the pedal out, so you got no throttle. I'm like, oh shit, I've got the all-4 day coming up. I can't have this thing playing up, because when you go the all-4 day, you're queuing up for probably 40 minutes or so before you can get into the place. There's a massive lineup of cars. So I need to have this thing going properly. Like usually it's sweet. So what I've done is got ChatGPT, got the laptop going, got the Haltech NSP software going, and I'm explaining the problem, and it's telling me what to do. So basically just done a recalibration of the accelerator. And yeah, it's come good. It still throws up a code, but the accelerator stick keeps working. So it's sensing something's not right, the wiring, but it's still, I can manage it, I can work with it. I'm not going to put much time into this car. I just want to keep it going, you know. But yeah, ultimately it needs a really good dyno tune. It should be singing it again. So, righto, it's too early to go doing anything regards to starting the engine. Not that I really need to. I'll need to start the motor up in this car. I need to test out the heater box to make sure it doesn't leak. But while it's so early, I'll just pull these extractors out and I'll see if I can fix that collector. Oh, the joys of extractors. Thinking all those people haven't got a hoist like me. How do they do it? Getting to the bolts, it's unreal. It's easy to actually, I mean, it's not overly bad to get to the bolts to undo them. It's just getting them back on. Just fiddly, but these boys that haven't got a hoist, it's hardcore. But I've got, look at that. You just notice that? Can you see that? You probably can't. Look at that. Zoom in. That's bullshit. That's black. That could have been loose in the past. But yeah, might have used a bit of sealant on that. I really, these type of gaskets are shit. They reckon I don't use them on the Escort. I got these other like shimmed ones, they're like layers, stainless steel. But yeah, I'll get all the bolts off from underneath, and then I'll just get to the top ones and yeah, pull these extractors out. The creepy shed in the darkness. So I've got the extractors off. Show you what I'm doing. I've got this light, and I'm shining the light on the outside here. You see down, get it in the right spot. Oh, you see it right there. You can't tell, camera shit. There's light. There's actually a hole. Right down in there, there's a damn bloody hole in there, so I'm going to have to work out. Cutting it like I said I was going to cut it before isn't really going to do it, I don't think. It's going to be too far back, so I have to work out exactly where it is. And, yeah, go from there. But ultimately, I need to do a pressure test on it. It'd be nice if I had a spare, like a Cleveland head. I could just bolt it up to the head. And yeah, make a thing a blanking plate for this, pump air into it and see where it's leaking. But yeah, this is like, really, if he's got the money, just buy new extractors. These ones are like, oh, they're old, so I'm making do with what I've got, you know, because yeah, I'm gonna budget like everyone. But yeah, I'll have a go. But there's a pretty big damn hole in there. Probably be, I don't know, probably 3, 4. We'll get to it. We'll have a look at it. I'm making assumptions how big it is. I don't really know, but it's big enough to see daylight. Check this out, right? I've got that set up in a perfect position. So I'm looking right up into this 4-into-1 collector and look at the light coming through. Look at that. It's like fatigue, it's been hit, twisted, and it's actually cracked it. I'll get some light happening. It's like one of these joins here, inside's cracked. Wow. I have to know exactly which one it is, and I have to cut it from the outside and get to it. But the wrist you have there, you can easily cut it, re-weld it and that, but it's just work. I'll be cutting it through here, I reckon. I just have to make sure I know exactly which one it is, because if I cut this one open and realise it's just, no matter how you look at it, it's a shit job. It's a shit job, but you know what? I was pricing new extractors, and just to get cheap ones, you're looking at $600. Proper ones, like I've been more inclined to get good ones, you're up around, you know, 800 onwards. A lot of money. I'll have a go. I'll have a red. I'll go fixing these up, because that's a major hole in there. That's like, wow. Shithouse result. I think it's come to a point where I've got to draw the line. What you can fix and what you have to replace. Check this out. That. I just got a screwdriver and pushed that, and it just opened right up. I mean, I could easily cut this open here more, cut open here more, put a patch in there, but end of the day, it's rusted here. Why isn't it going to be rusted underneath here? You know, it's just, they're not going to last. I mean, the amount of effort it takes to put these bloody things in. Well, while I'm at it, I'll see if I can get a new gasket that goes across here. Ultimately, the smartest thing to do is to get good quality extractors. Getting ceramic coated makes a massive difference. Get a proper gasket, a shin one, because this one here I put on, it looks like it's completely crushed. It looks like it needs to be replaced. So, just like that, I could be doing a YouTube video showing you guys what I'm doing on this car, and then things just grind to a halt due to old items, old parts deteriorating. So I'll have to sit down now, get on Google, and see what my options are. But yeah, it's all dollar signs, but hey, that's cars. Righto, this is my eBay watch list. I really do share a lot of information about what I do. Not everyone likes doing this, but so you got the ordinary type exhaust gaskets. Everyone knows them. It's what I got on the car now. It looks like they're already in crushed heaps. Look at these, copper. So these are reusable. They seal really well, but the surfaces have to be really flat and true. So what I'll do, I'll get these and I run a smear of silicon on, high temp silicon. So when when the cylinder head and extractors get hot, these will expand with it. So you get a really good seal. So I'm gonna get them. They are, how much are they? $84. Ouch. Get what you pay for. I'm looking at these now. Genie extractors. So these are really good. I've had these Genie extractors in the past on my old Mark II Escort when I had a single overhead cam 2-litre Pinto engine with single side drafter auto. That car went like a bat out of hell. It used to do like 0 to 100 in 8 seconds, which doesn't seem fast, but back then I was chopping everything. It was great. But yeah, these Genies in the past are good. But yeah, laser cut flanges, manual bent. The ones I've got aren't manual bent. 800 Celsius, high temp paint, whatever. Already got, that's just paint. Ground flanges for perfect seal. 50 years of headache manufacture. Yep. The ones I've probably got on it are Genie. They got the logo. It looks like it might be. But they're very old. Another thing that's a bonus too, the other extractors, the cheap ones, they haven't got that exhaust flange on there, ready to go. So let's have a look at the description. So yeah, $820, it gets $70 off with eBay Plus. So let's have a quick look at the description. Yep, XR to XF, 2V, tuned length, Genie extractors, designed to fit V8 Ford Falcons, 302, 351 cubic inch, 2V heads, will fit ZF to ZK Fairlane. So yeah, they won't suit C6 FMX. I have to worry about that. I've got a top loader. So yeah, very good. I was going to show you more of using the ChatGPT as like an assist with me with tuning the Cleveland, but obviously now I'm going to wait on new extractors to turn up. So that's ground that idea to a halt. So what I'll do instead, I might go in the shed now. I'll get the Escort, I'll get the laptop going. and I had a fault with it yesterday. I think I may have corrected with the ChatGPT, helped me out. And we'll see if it does in the cold start and see if it does it again, because yeah, I'm trying to iron out that issue. Coffee. Hello, puss. Hey. Meow. Whinge. Yes, whinge. Cats. Dog. Righto. Test out. See if the ChatGPT's done its thing. So, got connection to the ECU. Just a matter of turning the key now, start the engine up, and see if I get any errors. I'll have to give it a rev. Oh yeah, it's throwing a code. Honey, get out of the road. You have to give it a rev for the alternator to come on. Throttle position sensor, voltage correlation. Still alright, but still running alright. Yeah. Very chunky. Oh well. She's happy. Oh, that E85 smells good. Yeah, righto then. Shut it now. Actually, I'll erase that. Get rid of it. It'll come back again anyway, but I'll see what ChatGPT has to say about it. It's going to show you all this stuff like with the Falcon Hardtop rather than the Escort, but now the Falcon needs new extractors. I can't expand on it anymore, so what I'll do, I'll just give you a quick glimpse of what ChatGPT can do for me with the Escort. So what I've done, I've taken a very short video of the Haltech NSB software here on the laptop, and I've sent the file through to ChatGPT. But if you send the file alone by itself, it's going to be like, oh yeah, what is it? Engine idling, yeah, sounds alright. It needs more information, so you got to expand on it. So it already knows everything about the car, top to bottom. So I'll just have to outline. This is the Escort Z-Tech on idle with the Haltech NSB software. So nice. I reviewed your video, your Ford Escort idling, the Haltech NSP active, and here's what I can gather from the visual and audio side. So yeah, the audio side. So it actually listens to it well. So observations from the video: idle quality sounds clean and stable. No obvious hunting, surging, misfiring. Smooth rhythm. Pretty impressive considering it's high horsepower E85 drive-by-wire big cam Z-Tech. So when you get E85, you get all sorts of problems on a cold start because it just, yeah, they're very cranky on a cold start. But yeah, the tuner's set this up good in the past. So Haltech dash info, what I can glimpse. AFR looking stable, around 13.5. So yeah, it gathers the fuel ratio and gives me feedback on RPM holding steady, no fluctuation. Map was reading consistent, shows no vacuum leaks. Throttle looked like it's being held steady, drive-by-wire holding. Idle target fine. Coolant temp said to be in the mid-range, so closed loop. So when it's closed loop, it's basically self-tuning. It's gathering, it's just doing its own thing to a certain extent. Sound, throaty, but not raspy. Great note. No lean pop through rough idle. Suggests misfiring overcorrection. What it tells, I feel ignition solid, calibration working fine. You've got a good bass tune, dialed in, nose to it. This is how it should be, but so if you wanted to, if you take your car to a tuner and you get it back, and you can sit there and you can actually look over it and see, you know, check out his work, see how good it is. But you can use this ChatGPT as like a general guide. And if you get a good tuner who knows what he's doing, yeah, you don't have to worry too much about that sort of thing. But I've found it really handy for, you know, just going through the basics, and it just makes you just get things done quicker. So I'll go back to the camera now. So to wrap this video up, What I will do next, now that I've got new extractors coming soon, these will go on the scrap, unfortunately. Paid like, I paid $100 for them a while back, but yeah, you get what you pay for, you know. If you get something second hand, there's no guarantee it's going to be any good. But what I will do, the collector, I've got the O2 sensor for the wideband. It's back here, where ideally it should be over here, right on the collector. So where it goes from 4 into 1, it's a really good merge point. And I'll put, I think I've got bung. Well, it's like the thread, it's like the thing you weld it on. And you put the O2 sensor in. I'll put it right here, and I put it deep as possible so it gets all the exhaust. But so if I got new extractors that are sealed good, you'll get a good exhaust flow going straight into it, and pick it up a really good sense like of what's going on for the air fuel ratio. But I think the core problem with this engine, I know I was chasing it there for a while trying to work out what that noise was, but it was definitely that was a big popping sound, and it made sense because it wasn't a consistent like pop, 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 pop real quick. It was like something you get further down the exhaust. It's like a pop, 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 pop. So each time cylinder 1 fired, it was shooting down here, going down here, and it was popping through there. So that's why it's like pop, pop, pop. As cylinder 1 is firing, this is coming out here. So now I know that yep. All right then. I haven't got anything else to share with you, really. That's about it. Yeah, I don't know what I'm going to do now. I suppose I could take these extractors off and just get the new ones ready, but yeah. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll hopefully have another video up next week, I reckon. But yeah, catch you later. In the process of knocking out the things that the highway cop picked up on. So one of them being is the cam wheel cover. So by law, when you've got a single overhead cam or double overhead cam, whatever engine, you've got to have the cam wheels covered. They're like that from factory, but they look so much better without them, like without the covers on them. So, yeah, so what I've done, I've already got one up here. It's already made out of small steel. I just don't like the look of it. It looks like shit. It does the job, but it's not attractive. So I'm looking on the internet and I'm seeing what's available for other engines, say SR20 or 4G63 Mitsubishi motors, and there's not a real lot that will accommodate or work on this car because it's got so much crap in the road. So I'll be buying one off the internet and chopping it up. I don't want to do that. So I had some leftover Perspex on a maybe boat windscreen, so I'm thinking I might just have a go at making one myself out of Perspex, nice clear one. So already a fair way into it. What I've done, got 2 old cam pulleys off there's 2 spare Z-Tech motors I got, and I put it, it's nice and snug and tight. So what I've done, I clamped it here, one of these clamps, clamped it here, held it in place. I tried using this Ryobi heat gun. I just couldn't get the heat up to it. Being 18 volt doesn't help it, I guess, but what I end up doing is using it's a propane torch. Just be really careful because it'll melt it and do all sorts of bad shit. So what I've done, I clamped it here, then I pulled it over the pulley, pulled it over the pulley tight and held it there. Got that side done, then I went to this side, and this side here sort of wraps it around a little bit. So when I pull this off, put it on the engine, sit like that. So yeah, that part of it's done. And I cut out this here. That'll sit over top of like that. Sits there like so. That'll look pretty. But what I do, it's all sorts of, people struggle. You look on the internet, you look on YouTube, and people, when it comes to cutting Perspex, they use jigsaws or special metal blades and using a Stanley knife, a razor blade just to cut a line. There's all these different methods, but I don't know what the issue is. I just got, this is 18 volt Ryobi angle grinder, which isn't very powerful. And I'll just mark it out and cut it. The only downside to that, when you cut it, you look at the edge. you get like the cutting, like, you know, where it's obviously scored it and it doesn't look glossy. So what you do, I think I've done this at school actually. I went to a private school and we done a lot of metal work and crafts and stuff. But what you do, you get the torch or your heat gun, it's hot enough, and you just heat the edge up and it's nice and glossy and shiny. So that's what I'll do. I'll do all these edges, get them nice and shiny, and then I'll do that edge there on this section here, and then I'll close it. I'll try gluing it. If the gluing doesn't work and it doesn't seem to be strong enough, I'll have to get a tiny drill bit and put little screws through it. You have to be super careful because, yeah, obviously you've got to be so careful. This stuff just cracks and chips so easy. I couldn't get the edges to be all flush. Used super glue and it took about a minute and it was set. That's its super glue works its best in the plastics. But yeah, that's how it is. So I'm gonna have to just trim these edges. It'll be time consuming. I have to be very careful. Either that, or if I score, you just heat it up the torch and get its nice glossy finish again. Clear. Finished product. The painfulest part is, like, it's on there nice and firm. I've got a mounting point here. Another one down there, you can't really see too well. Hello dog. Yeah, so it's firm and all that, but the trouble is, like, that's going to get dirty. And in order to clean it, I have to take the grill off, take this intake pipe off, undo a few things, just so I'll get to that to clean it. I'll probably, if I get sick and tired of it, I can just paint the thing black and be done with it, and then I won't be able to see the cam pulleys. I don't know, looks stupid, but what am I supposed to do? I've got to keep the car legal.